Was fantastic. There was a few things I didn't like here and there. Like the dad was so observant. Like he would always see her when she left her room, because this was when she was actually trying to leave the house. Actually, I should explain a little bit. The movie's about this girl. She loses her boyfriend in the woods, so she goes to a house for help and wants a phone. And the dad is delusional and thinks that it's his daughter that ran away after he accidentally killed her mom in a speeding accident. So she keeps trying to get out of the house, but she's never able to. She gets two really good chances in this movie. One where the dad's back is turned, so she hits him with a vase and starts hitting him with a whip and demands that he gives her his keys to the car. And then when she tries to grab him, he grabs her by the ankle and pulls her to the ground. Then he locks the basement door and goes upstairs, because he has like the entire house locked for a decent amount of the movie, because he's afraid that she'll run away again. And then there's a scene where he's training her to run and stuff for something he wanted to do in his childhood. And she tries to run away. She ends up injuring her ankle when running away. But she ends up wanting to stay, even though she gets the perfect chance to leave, because she's kind of developed Stockholm Syndrome. Her dad was an abusive piece of shit, that's why her and her boyfriend Neil were in the woods in the first place. And so she starts developing Stockholm Syndrome, because the dad's actually pretty nice to her here. Near when there's like 12 minutes left, the daughter comes there on her birthday. It's been years, and it's been months, or we don't actually know how long Catherine's been there. Well, the fake Catherine, the guy he thinks is Catherine. I don't even remember her name anymore, because she was called Catherine the entire movie. Anyway, the real Catherine gets there, and he's like, hey, can you help me pack in this ice cream and stuff for you? She's kind of like, where's I miss you? How'd you know I was gonna be here? And stuff like that. He's like, just go to your room, you'll ruin the surprise. And you never actually get to see the surprise, because she ends up asking to go for a drive, and she just blows out a candle on her cake. And the movie ends with them driving away. Anyway, the real Catherine comes there. She goes to her room, and like I was already telling you about the observant part, which is what I didn't like, because he's observant for the entire movie. The fake Catherine is somehow able to sneak her way in to the house and go into the room with the real Catherine, and he doesn't notice. And she tries to guilt trip the real Catherine. Is like, hey, you don't know what it's like to have a bad father, and I just can't go back to the abusive household. And then she kills her, and then seconds later the dad's like, hey, come in here, don't leave me waiting. Goes in there, blows up the candle, and asks to go for a drive. He was so observant, he knew when she would move a box 2 inches away. It's like, hey, this is my stuff, that's yours, don't touch it. Somehow he didn't see her come into the house and go into her room when he already sent her to her room, is what he thinks. Yeah, it was such a unique movie, though. And another thing I didn't like is when there's about 18 or 19 minutes left, he gives her a phone for her birthday, and she loses it in the beginning of the movie when she's in the forest very briefly with Neil after escaping her abusive dad. And she thinks about texting her mom, and Neil's like, hey, you can't turn your phone on, or your dad will be able to track you, or some bullshit like that, right? So he takes her phone, then he leaves, and he gets lost or something, and that's why she has to go to the house in the first place that gets her into this situation. So she doesn't have a phone for the entire movie. Then on her birthday, she finally gets one. And she puts Neil's phone number into her phone for some reason. But, like, a few minutes later, we find out that she was perfectly fine with being there, and she's gotten used to it, and she doesn't want to go back to her abusive household. So I don't get why she would put Neil's thing in there. And then, like I already said about the going to drive thing, she goes to her car and she just deletes Neil's contact if she just added it like 10 minutes ago. Didn't really make sense to me. But yeah, very unique and good movie.